Welcome back. I just want to say thank you again for allowing me the honor of guiding us through this TriCon 2022. For those of you who weren't here at the beginning session yesterday, my name is Dustin Lukey. I'm a Rotarian in La Crosse, Wisconsin, the Rotary Club of La Crosse After Hours, and I am the evening anchor at the WXW TV 19 ABC affiliate in La Crosse, Wisconsin. So thank you all for having me here. This welcome has been wonderful and warm. Before we get going with the session, I do have one housekeeping note, so to speak. There is a very large bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon that you have 40 minutes left to place a bid. It is a $400 bottle of wine signed by the owner of the vineyard. And apparently there needs to be a few more bids on this before we let it go. But you can still get a pretty good deal on it. It's currently undervalued at the moment, so go and bid on this bottle of wine over at the silent auction table out in the lobby area there. With that, I welcome you to the lunch session. I hope you had a great morning of engaging and interacting with your fellow Rotarians. Again, we want to thank our sponsors here today, our gold sponsors, TDS and Gerhard's. TDS is a provider of top-notch internet, TV, and phone services. First Supply and Gerhard's Kitchen, Bath, and Lighting Store has provided products, services, and value for more than 120 years. Thank you to TDS and Gerhard's. At this time, we would also like to thank our silver sponsors, Bolt, helping the world build boldly since 1889, Covantage Credit Union, Rick Deeb Insurance Agency of Mukwonago, Flourish Financial Partners, Marketplace Financial Group, LLC, and Spectrum Insurance Group. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Here now to offer a reflection is Alan Blake, a financial advisor. Alan serves as the president of the Rotary Club of Appleton. Alan.
Hello. Try and read my notes while I'm looking into the light. In my spiritual tradition, it is written that we ask not for peace, but to give peace. We ask not for solace, but to give solace. And we ask not for love, but to give love. It is tempting, with all the challenges in the world today, to ask God to fix the world's problems, heal the sick, bring an end to war, and give food to the hungry. Indeed, in Rotary, we strive to prevent and heal disease, help those who are less fortunate, and help with conflict resolution where we can, among other things. Yet sometimes I believe we forget that God, or the universe, if you will not do for us what it can only do through us. I believe our primary challenge is to learn to be better instruments for love in our lives, to learn how to better give and receive love and goodness to and from all life, rather than ask God to fix things. So as we come together today in the spirit of Rotary, let us ask for the wisdom to understand what we are called to do, for the strength and courage to do it, and for a greater ability to give and receive love and goodness to and from all life. To that end, I'd like to share with you the highest prayer I know, which is HU, spelled H-U, an ancient name for the source of all life, which has been sung for centuries in many countries and cultures around the world. I first learned of it when I was a student at UW-Madison almost 50 years ago. It's a universal song or prayer that can be used by people of any religion or no religion, a song of love or gratitude, or another way to simply say, "Thy will be done." It has become an integral part of my daily prayer and meditation, bringing numerous benefits, including more love, wisdom, courage, and joy into my life. Due to the global reach of Rotary, it seems fitting to share it with you today. So I invite you to join me for a minute, if you will, in briefly singing Hugh, this ancient love song or prayer. It goes like this. Hugh. And if you're so inclined, I invite you to try it sometime. Thank you. May the blessings be.
Thank you, Alan, for your reflection. At this time, we pause once again to reflect and honor Rotarians who have passed, to recall our special memories of them and give thanks for the ways in which they changed our lives and served Rotary. Let us pause now to remember the Rotarians from District 6270 who have passed away this past year. Thank you. Now here from the Rotary Club of Green Bay to offer a few words is past District 6220 Governor Tom Guyette. Tom is the chair of the Rotary Western Great Lakes District Conference Planning Council. Tom.
Thank you, Dustin. As he said, I'm the president of the Rotary Western Great Lakes District Conference Committee. and the chairman. And just to let you know, it's the part of our responsibility is the format of the district conference. The 3 districts got together and formed this committee to put on a district conference, which involves roughly 150 Rotary clubs and 6,000 Rotarians in Wisconsin and Michigan and part of Minnesota. Our overall responsibility is, first of all, site selection. We have a site selection committee, and they spend lots of time in visiting various sites, including the Osthoff and other sites that we visited. And just so that let you know that they also have made many visits, and the conference next year is going to be in La Crosse in 2023, and they made several visits there. And then they also, in 2024, this conference will be in Green Bay. So part of it is the 3 district governors, because it's their conference, they recruit volunteers to help put on this conference. The volunteers have a 2-year term, and so we have a chair and a vice chair, and so the vice chair takes over for the chairman when they finish their time, and that helps us with continuity, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel every year about putting on a district conference. I like to say that the Rotary Western Great Lakes builds the house, and the district governors furnish all the rooms, because their programs are the ones that they decide what we have as far as programs are concerned. So first of all, did anybody learn anything yesterday or today? We hope that you did, because that's really a comment to the program committee to put together all of these breakout sessions and plenary sessions so that everybody gets a chance to learn. Did anybody feel great about getting together in person? I think that was really critical, and it was really helpful for us to do this. And so first of all, what I'd like to do is the chairman of this conference committee is Judy Slawney. I'd like Judy to stand, first of all. It's hard for everybody to imagine the countless hours that that committee put on to put this conference on. I mean, the meetings with the governors and the staff, the program committee, AV, the trainers, registration, the Osthoff staff, hours of preparation, the facilities, the budget, all of that stuff that goes in, weekly meetings, hours and hours and hours. So I would like to have all the people who worked on the committee is in attendance. Please rise now. Let's give them a good hand, big hand. They put on so many hours to do this, and we really do appreciate the efforts that you put in. Now I would like to thank some past members of the Rotary Western Great Lakes that have put in a lot of time and effort. Their term is finished, so I would like them to come up to the stage if they would, and as I announce your names, please hold off the response till the end, okay? First of all, Lisa Warner. Schroeder. Judy Slawney. Bill Pritchard, is Bill here? There he is. Tammy Coop. here. Must be outside or somewhere else, sorry. Karen Aber. Tom Freeze. Rick Deeby. Craig Burnett. Let's give a round of applause to the people who helped put this thing together. Thank you. Thank you very much for attending. At this point in time, I'd like Heather Dyer to stand. Where's Heather? There she is. Heather is a district conference chairman for next year. Preparations are already underway for the district conference. The TriCon conference is going to be in La Crosse in April 27th to 29th, and it'll be in the La Crosse Conference Center. And we hope that everybody attends, and we will hope to see you all again next year in La Crosse. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Tom. And let's hear it one more time for everybody on the committee here who made this such a great event. And I want to give a special shout out right now to the man who wrote my script, who helped me so much, the man behind the curtain, Jeff Reed, right over there. Jeff, could you come on out here for a second and be recognized. He's been writing the scripts, meeting with me, preparing this whole guide for this TriCon, and he served as my guide once I got here, walking me through all the changes as they come up and everything. So Jeff, I just want to say thank you so much for all your guidance. And if you're not already enjoying your lunch, it is now time to do so. We'll be back with the start of our plenary session around 1 o'clock. Thank you. At this time, I now call TriCon 2022 Plenary Session 4 to order. All right, we had boxed lunches, but is everybody ready to think outside the box? Thank you. I'm a dad. I've got the dad jokes. So here we go. Tom Gump is ready to get you going. Tom is the past governor of Rotary District 5950 and a member of the Rotary Club of Edina, Minnesota. He is passionate about growing Rotary membership through forming new and innovative cause-based Rotary, Rotaract, and satellite clubs. Tom founded the first ever Rotary Club to serve veterans and co-founded the world's first Rotary Club to end human trafficking. He helped form the Rotary Club of Network for Empowering Women and the Kaleidoscope Rotaract Club to serve those with autism and their families. Tom also helped form the Rotaract E-Club for the environment. He was named a Zone 29 Innovative Club Advocate and serves as Zone 29 Assistant Rotary Coordinator for Membership. At this time, please help me welcome Tom Gump as he relates how Rotary International President Shekhar Mehta changed the concept of membership and provided Rotarians with the direction and motivation we need to grow Rotary. Tom.
Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate that. You know, it's so great to be here with all of you. I recognize a lot of you from Midwest Pets and from the wonderful membership summit you had last October. And you know, the best thing about Rotary is the friendships we make. And last night when Kyle was talking about close your eyes, and he made us all close our eyes and imagine what the perfect Rotary experience would be. So I've kept trying to look into the future and do what Kyle was telling me to do. But I kept remembering last Saturday night when I was at the Nook with my friends. Last Saturday was my birthday. So my friends at my club, we went out to a burger place in St. Paul called the Nook, and then we all went to the Minnesota United game, and it was super fun. So when I come back here, I feel like you make me feel like I'm part of the group, so thank you so much. So when you speak at these things, people ask you to speak on different things. Maybe, how do you bring in new members, or how do you start a new club? But I was trying to follow the directions I was given, which is explain all of membership in 20 minutes. So, so if I sound like an auctioneer, that's why. But I really liked the challenge because it made me think about what Rotary is all about and what membership is all about. And if you think about it, when you boil it all down, membership's pretty simple. There's only 3 ways to grow Rotary. And trust me, we think about this a lot if you're any kind of in membership capacity of any kind. So what's the first way to grow Rotary? I'll take hands. I might not be able to see them because of the light, but I'll take them. Yes. Invite them. That is so important. That's the first thing to do is invite them. And you know, it's funny. When I was trying to figure out what people want to hear, you know, I asked Tom Gayet, I said, what should I talk about? He goes, oh yeah, whatever you want to talk about. Then I asked Judy, what do you want to talk about? And what should I talk about? And she said, whatever you want to talk about. So then I made the mistake of asking the wonderful Governor Bear, what should I talk about? And she said, and I have 3 older sisters, one's a twin sister, so I'm used to taking orders, so I take orders really well. So, of course, she begins to tell me how in her club recently, they were playing a Tom Gump video. And she said, talk about that time you were rejected. You know, and you kept on getting rejected. And I was like, wow, I usually don't go in public and talk about all the times I'm rejected. But it was a point where I think that video must have been, Karen, when they were talking about you have to ask. And that goes back to your point. And you have to ask. And I always say, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid of rejection. I've asked a lot of people. They become friends. But it made me think, Karen, the way that started was I wanted to join Rotary back in 1996. I was assistant district attorney in Georgia. And my boss, she was in the Rotary, and I thought that would be perfect. Well, they wouldn't let me in because they had the law enforcement classification already spoken for. So for 13 years, I didn't join Rotary. So I was blessed to have this neighbor. We were working out together a few times a week, and every day we'd work out. He said, you have to come to Rotary. You have to come to Rotary. So I gave a bunch of excuses because I didn't want to be rejected again, right? So after about 24 times of asking me, I went, and I loved it. I was hooked. I had more friends in the neighborhood, and you know, I'd go to the grocery store, know more people. It was really fun. But so that's really important. We really need to do that. What's the second way to grow Rotary besides asking and bringing new members? Yes, sir. Tom? Keep them. You have to engage them. You know, you have to, like Kyle was saying last night, you have to have fun, and you have to keep them involved to do those service projects. And what's the third way to grow? Yes, you have a brilliant district governor. Form new clubs. Even though she makes me publicly humiliate myself, she's still wonderful. And you're right, Karen, if you look at 96, when I first tried to join Rotary, the average club size was just over 60. Now today it's just under 30. But why have we stayed at that 1.4 if you include Rotaractors? It's because we form new clubs. So we're going to talk about the most important parts of these things. So, but we're going to do it in an organized way because this conference has been very good and your governors wanted to make sure that we do homage, give honor to our current president. And our current president did great things for Rotary in terms of membership. So who can tell me what was his slogan for this year for membership? Each one bring one. And you know what? That's a brilliant, brilliant slogan, and it's a brilliant campaign. Because it takes the idea of a membership team being of just one person, or worse, committee. We usually don't use the word committee, we like to use the word team. Of just one person with a couple helpers, it makes all of us part of that team. We all have to do it. So it turns that concept on its head. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Then we're going to talk about our RI President-elect, Jennifer Jones, and her take on membership. So we're going to talk about the 3 areas, but we're going to organize it, what we're doing now, what we're going to do in the future. So, attraction strategies. So Shaker Meta's Each One Bring One's about attraction. It's bringing people in. So when you think about why people join, all you have to do is look at the surveys. What the surveys show is people want to do community service, international service, local service. Local service is the #1 reason people join Rotary, and friendships. A lot of people leave Rotary, unfortunately, and they leave 10% leave within the first year that they join. And then in the first 3 years, 52% leave. So why do they not leave after that? It's because of the way you make me feel when I come here. Tom, I went down to breakfast yesterday morning. I was about to have breakfast by myself, and Tom came up and said, "Hey, do you want to have breakfast with me?" That's why people stay, because we have those lifelong friendships. Well, we have to keep them in Rotary for the first 3 years, right? So they're also looking for professional connections, for networking. A lot of people join for that reason. Rotaractors join for that same reason. They want to rub shoulders with people of significance in their industry. They want to advance, and Rotary could help them do that. And a lot of times people join for one reason, and they stay for another reason, which in our case is service. So back to your brilliant answer, 85% of Rotarians join because someone asked them. How many joined because somebody asked them? Yeah, so most of us. And the same is true with Rotaractors, although Rotaractors, it's usually family members that ask them to join. So can anyone tell me the #1 reason people leave Rotary? Burnout, that's one of them, yeah. Oh, yes? They're not engaged, right. So when we did the last survey, Rotary International, they said the #1 reason people leave is because they don't feel comfortable with the environment. So we have to make people feel welcome. Luckily, 82% of our Rotarians feel welcome. 77% of our Rotaractors feel very welcome in the community. So in Rotary, it's like any other business. We're delivering a product, and that product is a club experience. So we have to make sure that when we promise a club experience when someone's coming in, we deliver that. And for our current members, we have to make sure that they're happy with it. So things that we can do, we could have a variety of service projects. You could have local projects, international projects, youth service projects. We have to have fun social events, and you all prove that you can do that. And there's a pub crawl tonight, so I'm sure that'll continue. And we'll all look out for each other. Professional development is very important. People join Rotary for that reason. Leadership development. And I can tell you who are laughing in the audience are the ones we have to most look out for tonight. So our current president, Shaker Meta, he said that he never had a leadership position until he was president of Rotary. And he used to be afraid to speak in front of people, like I'm sure many of us, I know I was, before Rotary, brought it out of me. So Rotary can do those things for our people. Mentoring goes both ways. We have to learn from our younger people, too. It's not just our younger people learning from us, especially in areas of public image and things like that. Networking opportunities are always important. We want to be able to pay our Rotary bills, right? And give to the foundation. And family-friendly activities are important. A lot of us, we talk about it, but we don't really do it. And it's so easy to take one of your 4 meetings a month and just have a picnic outside if the weather's nice. Bring some Frisbees, bring some balls, do bingo. Have the kids join you. Have your friends join you. So, each one bring one. Now, when this first came out, people were saying, oh, that's difficult. It's going to be really, really hard for everyone to bring one. But then we started seeing it happens. This is a Facebook post that was just a few weeks after the year started, and each one brought one. The other objection that we heard was, well, you're focusing on quantity, not quality. Well, I disagree with that because What he's asking us to do, we got 62 more days left to do this. You could do it after too, but he's asking us to find one person. So find the person who is the best for your club, best fits with the culture of your club. So we don't have to each bring in 5 or 6 people. We can bring in the one person that fits the best with our club. So it is focusing on quality. So the other thing, that was the direction he gave us. Go bring people. Each one bring one. Well, how did he motivate us? He motivated us through this membership society. You know, if you give $250,000, we honored people on Thursday night, Karen Hendricks and her husband, for giving $250,000. Their faces will be etched in glass and put on a wall. Well, Shaker wanted to do the same thing or similar thing for membership. So now we have a virtual membership society where if you bring in 25 individuals into your club, you get a letter from RI asking if you want to be part of this society. And there's different levels of society. Now, I'm sure with the COL and their changing of what's a referral and what's a member ask, maybe they'll start doing referrals. Right now, it's just members into your club, not referrals to other clubs. But Rotary International, you know, our director-elect, Pat, always tells me, Tom, Rotary's smart. And Rotary is smart. And now that I know that they'll be doing things to change membership, to keep on keeping us active. So engagement. We brought them in, now we have to engagement. So when we asked what's important for attraction, we asked, why do people join Rotary? So now when we talk about engagement, like Tom said, keeping them, we ask, why do they leave? And we try to prevent them from leaving. So a lot of people leave because of the time, excessive cost, unmet expectations. Again, we're not delivering the value that we thought they would. Rotaractors are the same, except they also leave because they feel that they're at an age where they'd like to move up or move over to a Rotary club. So virtual meetings. We asked the question, if you went to virtual meetings and only stayed at virtual meetings indefinitely, would you leave? And so we had a certain percentage of people who said, yes, I would leave. But remember, these people, they came to an experience which is a traditional club, which meets in person. You know, our product is liked. Let's face it, during the pandemic, we lost about 1.5% of our people. If people didn't like the product we were delivering, they would have left en masse and blamed the pandemic and not come back. But there's certain things that we can do to tweak our clubs, reimagine those clubs, so that the people stay, they're excited about it, and they feel like it's a good place to ask their family and friends. So how do you know what to change? It's pretty simple. You do what we call an assessment. And Rotary has 6 different assessment tools. And you could Google them up, or you can go to My Rotary, and you could do Club Health Check. That's something we do for the board of directors. Or a membership survey, which is you can do for your members. But you don't have to get that complicated. If you have a small club of 20 or 30 people, you could pick up the phone and call people, find out what they like. It's that Mayor Koch in New York, remember, used to go around saying, how am I doing? How am I doing? Remember that? Well, that's what we have to do with our clubs. But if you think that the health check's too complicated, it's got too much wording, just do a Survey Monkey and ask things, do you like where we meet? Do you like when we meet? Do you like our service projects? Do you like those socials? Maybe an open-ended question about what can we do better? But it's funny because when you do these surveys, now how often should you do a survey? What do you think? Every 6 months? And that's a really good answer. Rotary, I'm sorry, I don't have any prize to give you. Luckily, I'm with friends, so I guess I can get by, sorry. I'll bring prizes next time. But if I'm throwing in the bright lights, I might hit somebody. So Rotary says you should do one once a year. But when do you do it? Most clubs don't do surveys at all, right? But when they do it, when do they do it? When they're leaving, right. Do you think that's a good time to do it, when you're leaving? Oh, no, unless you do it in your club, don't answer that question. But no, because you can't do anything to change at that point. I mean, it's too late. And Rotarians are such nice people, they might not tell you the real reason they're leaving. So RI President-elect Jennifer Jones says we should do entrance surveys when they come in. I think that's a brilliant idea, because then you can change things. So what would you change? Well, you know, there's certain things that are easy to change, but let's look at our clubs, our traditional clubs, which I'm a part of, the backbone of Rotary. I would never leave my traditional club. I know it was mentioned that I start other clubs, and I've been asked to join other clubs, but I wouldn't. Though I really like these 3 districts, and I might join, but my district would kill me. So I'm staying put. But we meet our regular time and place. You know how it is. It's breakfast or lunch, Monday through Friday. Now, if you look at the new clubs, when do they meet? They meet, middle of the week at night, usually online, or on the weekends. So, format. Most of us, how many of you meet 4 times a week, 4 times a month? Okay, most of us. Same with my club. I meet at 7:30 a.m. at a country club, our club does, every Tuesday morning. My wife meets at the same country club every Thursday afternoon. But you don't have to have 4 meetings. You could actually have as little as 2 meetings. And the format of the meeting, it doesn't have to be business meetings. I mean, Rotarians do so many great things, and we know about it. But our friends, when we first talk to them, if you ask them what they think we do, they think, I go to the country club Tuesday morning, eat breakfast, hear a speaker, and that's it. But we're not those people. We are those people, that's part of us, but we're people of action. We're influences in our community. We're purpose-driven people. So how do we prove that? Change up the format. You could actually go to Rotary in the Workplace is what we do in our club. We go to someone's place of business. That goes back to the networking. It gives people what they want. We have a lady who runs an airport. She owns it. We took them up in planes and flew them around the Twin Cities. They had a great time. Yeah. But you got to bring coffee and you got to bring food if they're used to getting that. But you could also we can go to the local food shelf and we could unpack those boxes, put them on the shelves. We could bake the banana bread. Whatever, those organizations we serve, why not, give them their due? Delivery, that's electronic. We have a lot of clubs forming, and most of the clubs forming now are e-clubs, or at least have a partial component of e. There's also club models and their membership types. We're not going to too much in detail, but there's a bunch of different club models. And you can look at these club models, and if you go to the Learning Center, you can click on any of these club models, and they'll give you examples. So, a cause-based club. We have veterans clubs, and we have end human trafficking clubs. We have clubs for homelessness. And you could take your club, and you could actually, you don't have to start a whole new club. You could tweak your current club by just adding one of these models to it. We had a club in Texas that was a Toastmasters club, and they lost all its members. So we brought in a few veterans, and now it's a thriving club. And they have an Interact club with 50 high school students in it. So membership types. We have to pay our RI dues, we have to pay our district dues, but your club dues are somewhat flexible. So if you have some young people, I heard a person speak yesterday, and she said they have a young group of 60 people. They have friends. If you have those friends, allow them to join as an associate member where they can try out Rotary for a couple quarters or a year, and you just don't charge them those club dues. It might not seem like a lot of money, but that act of having skin in the game of the club, actually participating, helps. You could do that with a nonprofit that has one executive director, and maybe she can't make every meeting, but maybe somebody who works for her, maybe he can. You could do that with young professionals, you could do it with corporations, you could do it with family members. And if you think that that's not fair, that they're paying a discounted rate, you could change your bylaws. There's a club in New York that doesn't allow those members to run for office. There's different things you can do. So we brought them in, we engaged them, they're not leaving. We have one more thing that Karen wants us to do. And Jennifer Joan, our RI President-elect, she wants every district governor next year to form 2 new and creative clubs. So there's a few things that these new clubs do, and I'm just going to tell you them, and then I'll prove you that these are real reasons why. It grows Rotary quicker. It keeps and retains members longer. It attracts younger and more diverse people to Rotary. It makes Rotary more visible in the community, and it increases our opportunities to partner. Now, when you start a club, if you start a Rotary club, it takes 20 people. So you start a club, this is our network for empowering women. We added 50 people like that. It would take us a long time to invite 50 different members and get them to our current clubs. It also retains members longer, especially if it's a cause-based club. There's no more motivational factor in the entire world than a cause. This is a picture of our Veterans Club. They're serving some people in the Afghan community. People drive over 2.5 hours to come to this club. You know how our traditional clubs are. I drive 3 miles to my club. Some people, eat lunch or eat breakfast where they work or where they live. But this is different. And, and these are mission-driven people. They're perfect Rotarians. They never have just a blood drive. They always have to have a food drive and a clothing drive and everything else at the same time. More diversity. So what does my club do for service projects? We probably do a lot what you do. We pack food for the hungry. We rake leaves in the yards that people can't rake leaves. We pick up trash along the highway. May 8th is our next trash day. But if I go to a millennial and I'll say, join our club, you can pick up trash. You're right, it doesn't work. And why doesn't it work? Well, there's a couple things that these young people of action, these potential people of action want. First, they want to work in a diverse environment. They want to be with people who are different than them. They want to hear different thoughts. But they also want to have great impact, but they want to have great impact in one area, like serving the environment. So maybe, the diverse service project doesn't fit for them. So we can make a club that fits their needs, fits their schedules. So how do I know diversity works? Well, when I was district governor, we had a big push, and we wanted to add more female members into Rotary. We knew it was important to make our club strong, have better, diverse opinions. Well, we added 80 women to our district. So after that, I was trying to help our DG line repeat that. So what we did is we did an analysis, and we found out that most of those members came from 3 clubs. Our Eco Club had more than 50% females in it. Our End Human Trafficking Club had over 60% females. And then our Network for Empowering Women had close to 70% females. And we don't keep statistics on race and those kind of things, but we do on gender, so that's why I like to use this particular deal. So our RI President-elect, Jennifer Jones, it's going to be great when she's president, because that's easier to say than RI President-elect. She wants us to grow from 30 to 32% females in this next year and then keep it going from there. I tell you, this is how to do it, is to start new clubs. Because, to change our current clubs, you got to change the culture. And to change culture, I see Bill Pritchard, immediate past district governor, saying, no. He's saying yes, 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 but he's saying no to changing culture. And why? Because to change culture, what do you have to do? You have to change people. And we all know changing people is hard. And we can do it, we can nurture them, we can give them other jobs to do. But when you start a new club, you're just accepting that culture the way it is. So we get more visible when we reach out in the community and we start these clubs. This club, the first club ever to work towards ending human trafficking, that's their goal. And I tell you, I wish I woke up one morning and I was a brilliant futurist and said, we need to start a club to end human trafficking. It wasn't anything like that. 3 people came to me and said, Tom, we're quitting Rotary. And you laugh because it's not your district. I was district governor. I had the pressure on. But we had a wonderful deal with the district to the east of us and district to the north of us, where for 2 years we were having summits. We had the U.S. Senator come in and do a video for us. But they said, Tom, you don't understand. We are not getting what we need out of Rotary. We're not getting that product. Because we talk about ending human trafficking out of our 68 clubs, maybe 3 clubs once a year. We don't get any global grants because they're not a club, right? They're not getting any district grants. So we said, start your own club. And what did they say? What did they say when you said, start your own club? They said no because they thought it was hard. But it wasn't hard. It's easy. And if there's one thing you take away from this segment, there's a lot of people to help you. You got Rotary coordinators, assistant Rotary coordinators. You have Director-elect Pat. You have Brian King in RI. You have regional membership officers. You have me if you want me. Anybody else that would help, your district governor. And you don't have to do it on your own. Your district governor-elect has to start in 62 days finding 2 clubs for next year. Just give her or him the idea, and they could run with it. So, it's interesting because after this club started, about 2 weeks after, we were inducting a woman from Turkey. I was all excited because we didn't have anyone in that club from Turkey. So about 20 minutes after the induction, I get an email from the then sitting Rotary International president, Mark Maloney, confiding in me that that was his sister we just sworn in. She didn't say it, and her name was Maloney, Erin Maloney, and she's a great member. And he told me that he had been trying to get her into Rotary for 40 years. 40 years. So why didn't she join? Well, she was in Turkey. She was teaching history, U.S. history. Well, she couldn't do it during the day, and she didn't want to work on a bunch of different things. She wanted to work on this particular issue. So what I'm telling you is, we have 1.4 million Rotarians if we include the Rotaractors. Just think how many people are out there who are really Rotarians, but they just can't find a club that meets when they need to, or doesn't have the interest that they need to, or doesn't have the cause that they need to. So we can do it. Increased opportunities to partnership. This was another example of it's not hard to start a club. Is Karen Hendrick here? Yes. So tell us about this club, Karen.
And I said, "We're doing the heavy lifting, come with us." She worked together to form the Climate Solutions Coalition. They worked through COVID. Stress took lives away, exchange student-centered college. And we still had some charged up Rotaractors, exchange students, and interactors who wanted to work on climate through Rotary. I was exhausted. Tom Gump and Steve Solbrick on the SRAG board said, "Why don't we wrap your interest into a Rotaract club?" And so they said yes and have pioneered a Rotaract e-club for the environment, cause-based. Members from all across South America, Turkey, India, where else, Tom?
Mexico, South America, all over. So why were we able to do that? And how long did it take to form that, Karen?
They spent less time forming it than I spent trying to wiggle my way through Rotary Youth Protection Policy.
Yes. So for those of you who couldn't hear, I'll translate. It took a few months. But see, the whole thing is we didn't have to do it on our own. I didn't have to start a club on my own. Steve didn't have to start his club. We had the help of Karen. So what did we do when we were trying to find members? We called Karen and said, "Karen, in SRAG, the Environmental Sustainability Rotary Action Group, do you have any young people that want to get their hands dirty and do a project?" Because you think about it, a Rotary Action Group, what do? They help advise on how to fund projects and do projects. But these young people want to get their hands dirty, and they actually want to go out and get the global grants. I mean, so many times people come up to me and say, "Why should I pay Rotary dues? Why can't I just volunteer on my own?" Well, Rotary lets you pick the project you want, lets you raise the money, do the project the way you want to. Where else can you do that? I love the Red Cross and every other 501c3 that's doing good work, but I want to be able to pick my projects and do my projects, and that's what these young people want to do. So let's give them the chance. Let them design their own club, and it doesn't have to be like our clubs. And there's different Rotary types of clubs. You have Rotary clubs and Rotaract clubs, and you have satellite clubs, and you have different club models. And we're not going to go into all of these, but you ever need any help with them, we can help you with those. So what do all these things have in common? It's really pretty simple. They have a passionate champion, a spark plug, someone who's going to go out and do something. Perfectionists, and I know all of us have a degree of that in us, we sit on the side and we wait to the perfect time to start. What a spark plug does, and there's a lot of Sparkies in here, I can tell. We go out and we start, and we perfect as we go. So find that person who wants to do something and help them. Camaraderie and friendship, that's what Rotary is all about. That's why we're here. And a shared desire to serve. Let's face it, there's always this debate, are we a membership organization that does the best service in the world, or are we a service organization? We really are a membership organization, but what keeps us together and keeps our members active is that we're serving together. We all want the world to be a better place. We want to work with people who are similarly minded. And it starts with friends. And we all have friends, and people think when they're starting a club they don't have a lot of friends, but when they sit down and think about it, we all have a lot of friends. And also, it's very important to nurture any new club that we start. So when the district governors start their 2 new clubs, we should nurture them. The Learning Center has a new course, Nurturing New Clubs. It says it's 42% more likely a club is to survive if it's nurtured by another club. All different kinds of clubs to start. You have environment clubs, and we've talked about some of these. In Australia, they're starting 2 homelessness clubs. But really, any place that you can serve or that service needs, you can start a club. So that's all I got to say about that. So. Did I do 20? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tom, for sharing your, oh no, stay. For sharing your wisdom with us, for inspiring us to take up that mission and use those sparks to start new clubs and continue to grow and engage our membership. Very inspiring. What a way to think outside the box this afternoon. In recognition of your service, we will make a contribution in your name to the Rotary Foundation Polio Plus Fund.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Justin.
I can see all the ideas firing now as I look around the room here. A reminder, we have one more round of breakout sessions starting at 2 o'clock, and then we will reconvene here for our closing session. Tickets, I believe, are still available for the Pints for Polio fundraiser. Join us for the Hop On, Hop Off Discovery Trolley located in the parking lot just outside the lobby of the hotel. The trolley will depart at 4:30 and will take you to 3 of the 5 locations. The event itself starts at 5. It's an event you won't want to miss. Feel free to have a snack or dinner then before you return or when you do. The trolley stops running at 8:30 when we'll gather in the Elk Lodge for the drawing of the grand prize. The passports that you get with that must be turned in by 8:30 to be included in that drawing. And then join us for the grand prize drawing in the Elk Lounge at 8:45. If you haven't done it yet, stop by that Pints for Polio table to secure your space. This is also the last opportunity to check out the Halls of Friendship out there. Great displays, great partners, get to know them a little bit more. That closes at 3 o'clock. And again, the Pints for Polio silent auction, it closes at 1:45, so time is ticking on that to get those final bids in. On your tables, you might have noticed the beautiful flower displays, the pansies. We have about 35 flower pots, and I see that some of them have been claimed, but I believe there are still some that are available to take home after the closing session this afternoon. We're just asking that you make a donation to Polio Plus, a minimum of $15 for each pot. You can make your donation and reserve your pansies at the Polio Plus table, and if you haven't found a Mother's Day gift yet, it is coming up. That's not a bad idea. With that, we'll see you back here at 3. TriCon 2022 Plenary Session 4 is now adjourned.